It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Hi everyone, I'm Sam Lesante and welcome to The Sam Lesante Show. My friends, great show for you today. Great show for you today. I'm here at the Schuylkill Historical Society in Pottsville. We've been here a number of times before. I'm here with Diana, who is the executive director. We're going to put the address on the screen and the phone number for many reasons. But you know, back in 1925, the top team of the NFL was right here in Pottsville. And till today, there's like a lot of controversy about this whole thing. It's a history in itself. It's a story that's really fascinating. In fact, there's a film coming out about this particular thing. But if you're not aware of what's happening and what it meant in northeastern Pennsylvania, you're going to learn something about it today. Excuse me. Well, Diana, nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you. It's great to have you here at the Historical Society and to have given us a chance to tell you all about the 1925 Pottsville Maroons.
You know, it's an interesting story because, you know, as Dave was explaining a number of things, like everything he explained a little later on will show exhibits, and it only touches the surface of what this great team did for this area, okay, and how much great history there is, and there's a lot of things that you could purchase. But for those people who are completely, you know, they may have heard of the Maroons, but they don't know the full story, what happened. Give us a synopsis of that.
Okay, so when you go back to 1925, well, first off, the 1920s was a great time to live. Pottsville had its own team. I mean, think about it. If it was still existed, what this area would be like. And everybody thought, well, they're a bunch of coal miners. Well, no, they weren't. Some of them were dentists. They were from all walks of life. The owner of the team, Dr. Striegel, had a vision, and his vision was to create the best football team around, and he did. He went through the United States and he picked the best of the best, and he put together a team that was phenomenal. And they started some first. First was they had to practice every day. They had to live within the Pottsville limits. And they worked very hard at becoming the best team there was. They were a powerhouse team. You know, back then you heard names like Red Grange. Well, Red Grange played against them. And he was paid $500 to play on another team. Well, Pottsville Maroons knocked him out. And he got back in the game, and again, Pottsville Maroons knocked him out. And he said, it isn't worth $500. And that was the end. He stayed out of the game, and again, Pottsville Maroons won. So there wasn't many teams that were able to defeat the Pottsville Maroons. One of them was the Frankfort Yellow Jackets. But when they replayed the Pottsville Maroons showed them who was boss. And the score was something like 40-some to nothing. So, you know, the Pottsville Maroons really showed everybody in 1925 that they were a powerhouse team and, you know, came off as world champions. So
this is where the controversy comes in, okay? You know, in 1925, they were the top team in the NFL. Well, if you were the top team, what started this controversy about the team and everything else?
Okay, so they played the Chicago Cardinals to get the championship, but then they played an exhibition game, which they played in Philadelphia. At that time was the Frankfort Yellow Jackets Stadium, and they played the Four Horsemen of Notre Dame and won by the score of 9-7. That started the controversy because they played what they claim in somebody else's territory. And they say that was in the rule books, but nobody has produced this so-called rule. We've asked for the rule, but nobody can produce it. If they can produce it, we'll gladly say, okay, you know. But Commissioner Carr then pulled the championship. The championship at that time, the Cardinals would not actually accept it. It sat for 8 years, unclaimed. Everybody said it belonged to the Pottsville Maroons until the Chicago Cardinals were repurchased by the Bidwell family, and that is when the championship was claimed in 1933 by then Chicago Cardinals, owned by the Bidwell family.
So politics was involved even back then.
Oh yes, most definitely.
Okay, and you know, which is very sad. But coming from northeastern Pennsylvania and coming from the great stock that we have here, and the team players, the thing I like about here is the fact that you have artifacts, and we're going to show you some of these memorabilia that they have here at the Historical Society. But what does this? And there's a great celebration happening, okay, in August, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But you know, why do you think, Diana, being here and listening to all these stories, why is this so important for our area, and why should we celebrate?
Well, the one thing I think that, you know, of course, it's coming up on 100 years. This area loves football. And I think that the one thing we should really think about celebrating it is, and, you know, we are looking into seeing if we can bring it back to the area. But even if we can't bring it back to the area, I think the fact that we do need to celebrate it is the fact that these football players worked very hard. They worked very hard in training to bring this championship to the area. The area supported them 100%. I mean, as the game was going on against the Chicago Cardinals, it was being telegraphed back to what we call the Hippodrome, which was one of the theaters here in town. That place was so packed that the people were coming out the doors into the street, and then you had a barker yelling a play-by-play action as the game was going on in the Windy City and freezing cold temperatures of Chicago, that, you know, they knew exactly when and they won. So to see the excitement in this town and this area of the football game being won, it was like today's Super Bowl. So it is so much excitement. This area loves football, and to have that excitement going on, we need it. We need this here again. When the players came back the next day at the train station at 7 o'clock in the morning, there was such a crowd to greet them, to see that excitement. Wow, it's amazing to know, to see this history reenacting 100 years later. It is just a phenomenal time to enjoy it, and I think everybody should, you know, take the time to see this exhibit, to know that we had it right here in our own area. It is something to know that, you know, we had a Tony Latone that should be in the Hall of Fame. We had a Jack Ernst and a Chuck Berry. There was some great players on that team, and it was just right here from our own area. Wow, you know, it's something to see.
Diana, are there any family members from that team that are still that are around here? I mean, descendants, maybe great grandchildren or whatever.
There is. We had a mixer done, and one of the players, his name was Funky Levingood, who actually threw a ball into the stadium, and I love this story, and it knocked out one of the female players, and the stadium was here in Minersville, where the old, where the Palermo's is right now, and after the game, he went to check on this lady to make sure she was okay, and it became his wife.
Wow.
So it's
He really knocked her out.
Yeah. So, but his son was at our mixer.
Oh, that's nice.
So it was great to meet him and the granddaughter, and she wore the little football charm that was given to the family members and the players. So you get to meet some of these players, and there's a couple others. Also, where the jerseys came from was Joe Zacco sporting goods store here in Pottsville, and I just spoke to Dr. George Zacco, which is the son of Joe Zacco. He is 93 and a practicing dentist.
God bless him.
And so he was telling us a lot of stories. So you get to hear these stories, and it's just such an amazing time.
And I think when if you like football, which 99% of the people do, and especially the National Football League, and you're into it, this is a great story. Mm-hmm. It's a fabulous story, and I like the fact that it's called Let's Celebrate.
Exactly.
And you're going to celebrate a world-class team, and we come back, we're going to show you exhibits, but tell us what you have here for people to buy.
Okay, we have a great gift shop, and like I said, we are celebrating. So we have really loaded our gift shop with numerous items. We have sweatshirts, we have hooded sweatshirts, and later, when you see the person showing the exhibit, which is my assistant director, she will be wearing one of the sweatshirts. But we have hooded sweatshirts, we have crew neck sweatshirts, we have t-shirts, we have the Breaker Boys books, we also have the other book by Vince Genovese. We have stickers, we have mugs, we have mouse pads. So if you go onto our website, you will be able to see all these and, of course, order them, and we can send them out to you and whatnot. So there's numerous things. We have the Pottsville Maroons flag, blankets. There's just a numerous amount of things that we have. We also are doing programming. So we have a program coming up on April 24th, and this is a lot of fun, and we do this throughout the county. We do what we call a trivia night.
Oh, wonderful.
So we test your knowledge, and then we also give you the answers to help you learn more about the Maroons. But we go out amongst the community and do a trivia night, and have a lot of fun with that.
You're having this event on Saturday, August the 16th. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, where is this event going to be held?
Okay, our big celebration is August 16th, and it is going to be held at the Mountain Valley Golf Course. Okay. We have not decided on our speakers yet, but please note, save the date. Yeah. This will be a very large celebration. Yeah. We will have well-known speakers. Yes. And it is going to be a celebration so that nobody will ever forget who the Pottsville Maroons are.
If you're into football, which I know most of you are, I highly recommend that you make the phone call and get the reservation, because they're going to be jam-packed when it happens. We come back, we're going to show you the exhibits. I'm here at the Schuylkill Historical Society, and not only do they have the Maroons here, but when you come here, it's a fabulous place. It really is. You can spend all day here and then some, seeing what's available at this place. The phone number's on the screen, the website's on the screen. We come back, we're going to talk to Felicia, and she's going to talk about those exhibits. Stay with us. Well, welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Remember, 24/7 SSP TV, you get to watch all of our shows. And thank you for making the Sam Lesante Show the #1 talk show in northeastern Pennsylvania. I really appreciate it. Now, where am I? I'm here at the Schuylkill Historical Society in Pottsville. And now, to show us the exhibits, is the Assistant Director, Felicia. Nice to see you, and nice to meet you, okay? This place is exciting. I mean, if I was telling Diana, for those people who really didn't understand or know what the Maroons were about, she did a great job explaining it. But it's all on the website, okay? great things happening. Now, there are exhibits here, okay? And they
Yes.
tell me you know these exhibits in and out, right? So what are we looking at now, Felicia?
Sure. So over here we have a couple original programs from some of the 1925 games and 1926 games. We actually have a lot more in our private collection, but I have 3 of them on display here. We have a football that is signed by most likely all of the members of the team, but I know for sure Duke Osborne, Jack Ernst, Charles Berry have signed this. It's not from 1925, but I think it was signed probably when they had the reunion in the 60s. This football, however, is from the 1925 game. This is actually from the famous Notre Dame game that Diana was talking about earlier. And then I have there's an article from when we defeated the Four Horsemen.
That was big.
Yeah.
That was really big.
Yeah, and something I want to point out in this case is this is the Gladiator Award that was actually presented to the city of Pottsville from the National Football League. And this is the first time that it was presented to an entire city. And it was for the role that the Maroons played in the development of the National Football League in its early years. So you can tell that the Maroons were really instrumental in the development of NFL as we know it today.
And this is my shoe that you took.
I did, yes. Beautiful.
I wish it was mine. So tell us about this.
Yeah, so this is one of the most interesting things I think that we have, which is Charles Berry's. This is his boot that was bronzed, basically.
He won the winning field goal, right?
He did. This is the boot that
against Notre Dame.
Against Notre Dame. Yeah. So a lot of things that are tying back to this Notre Dame game, right? This is the boot that he was wearing when he kicked the winning field goal. And Joseph Zacco, who we'll talk about in a minute, he had it gilded and he had it on display in his sporting goods store for everybody to see. He was really instrumental in getting the word out about the Maroons.
There's a beautiful ring.
Yes. So this is the championship ring. It's a little misleading because the rings weren't awarded in 1925. They didn't give out championship rings at that point in time. They gave out, actually they had some little charms that were made. But this ring was given to the players at the 1961 reunion.
Oh, great.
So.
And what about this wonderful, beautiful poster here?
Yeah, so these are posters that we have available in our gift shop.
And they have all the names of the players are on.
Yeah, so this is the iconic 1925 team photo. So this has all of the players, and then we have the coach here, and it gives you the score. And this is a nice thing that, like Diana said, we have them signed and unsigned.
Beautiful.
Available in our gift shop, and we just think it's a great way to, that you could have it in your house to honor.
Yes.
To honor the Maroons.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And of course, it just gets better and better. What do we have here?
This is something that I think it's very unique to Schuylkill County. This is a replica of the original 1925 trophy that was created by the Rich family, and it's made out of anthracite, which is why I think it's so unique to our region. The original is in Canton, Ohio, in the National Football Museum.
And it's beautiful. And the Rich family donated that, right?
Yeah, so they
to the museum.
Yeah, they donated to us, and we are very lucky to have it.
I mean, it looks great on. You got to come and look at these exhibits. Now, what do we have here? You took my uniform from my house and you put it over here.
I did. Yes, thank you for donating. Yeah. No. So first thing I want to point out is I know people might look at this and they might think, this jersey is not maroon. What is this doing here? We do not have an original Maroons jersey, but this is a replica of what it would have looked like. So you can see that there's not a lot of protection happening.
Yes,
there's not a lot of padding. Yeah. What they would have considered padding would be these leather patches that are sewn on the outsides and maybe the elbows. And it was kind of up to the players to maybe stuff some newspapers in their uniform or some magazines or something as extra padding because we didn't have the protective gear, that we have today. And the same goes for the helmet. So you can see this leather helmet.
It's like a cap.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So
unbelievable.
If you can believe it, helmets were not required to be worn in the NFL until the 40s. So at this point in time, if you look closely at this picture, you can see well, behind him is Duke Osborne, and he's wearing a baseball cap.
Yes,
so
in the back, yes.
He was known for wearing a baseball cap during the games.
Can you imagine
instead of a helmet.
Oh my God.
Which nowadays is it's crazy. The things that we know about concussions and whatnot. But yeah, at this point in time, we're wearing these really thin leather helmets and hoping for the best, I guess.
Oh my gosh. I wonder how many injuries there had to be.
I'm sure a lot.
I mean, they didn't play nice, like there wasn't tag football.
No, and the field that Maroons played on specifically was known for.
So this is the actual uniform that they would use.
These are this is the helmet, and then we have the cleats.
Look at those cleats.
That you can see. These are original from the players.
What would be interesting, and I got to tell Diane, is if you had a current day's uniform.
Yes, like
side by side, and you say, look what they have now versus what they had in 1925 and in the 20s.
And I think a lot of that is the Maroons were known for being tough and rugged players because they're wearing these types of uniforms. They're playing on the field that is, there's coal slag in the grass and it floods a lot. Yeah, so they were tough.
We're here at the Schuylkill County Historical Museum on Center Street. The phone number's on the screen. The website's on the screen. Big event happening. We're celebrating here, my friends. The Maroons, 1925, the #1 team in NFL. There's a history. There's a great history, and it's something that we should all be proud of. But I highly recommend, you come and see the gift shop. You're a young girl, and you're involved here. Why does this excite you as a young girl? I mean, I know your mother have a beautiful child, 13 years old, but I mean, what does it mean to you?
Well, what I think is interesting is I'm going to tell you right now, I am not a football fan in general. I was never a football fan, never considered myself a football fan, but I am a history fan. And when I came in here originally, and Diana was talking to me about the Maroons, and she was all excited, and she had a petition for me to sign, and I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But the more I learned about the history of it, the more I just think it's like Schuylkill County pride, I think. And I think that's why I like it, because I think it's a really cool part of our history that only we have, that we can claim. And I think it's what makes it fascinating. Interesting
about the lessons we can learn too.
Yes.
From these people, the players, and the dedication they had.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
These are messages that I think that are we need so much today in our society. You have a 13-year-old, so what that's all about.
Yes, I do.
And you want to instill these values that these people had.
Yeah.
Okay, and had a sense of a real sincere pride, you know, and they were only concerned about what was good for them, their family, and their community. Wouldn't you think so?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they knew the power of working hard and striving for a goal and achieving it.
Now, they're doing a film, on this, and they're almost to completion. However, they are looking for cameo roles. So if you have some interesting stories that you'd like to talk about with the Maroons, they're wide open right now. It's in the wrapping it up. But the producer director of the show told me that they are looking for some cameo roles. And for those of you who have great stories, go to their website and put the stories in there. You may be in a motion film. You must hear, along with Diana, some great stories when people come in, looking at that. And those stories alone are priceless, aren't they?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. You're going to be at the event, August 16th?
I will be. I will
celebrating?
be there. Yes.
That's good. Anything you'd like to say in closing?
I'd like to say, if you are not a member of our Historical Society, I would love for you to join. If you are a member, you can come and see this exhibit and in more detail anytime you'd like, anytime that we're open. And additionally, you get a discount in our gift shop and all the great merchandise that we have that Diana mentioned, and then you get to see all the other great exhibits that we have as well. So,
and if you have an opportunity, go on the website now, get your T-shirts, your jackets, everything that you saw that Diane was talking about, and we'll be doing a number of these shows, bringing you up to date. But remember, save the date. August 16th is a great celebration. The Maroons, it's something that is a pride still today. It looks like it's getting better. I'm Sam Lesante. We'll see you next time.